morning. I'm going to start by just taking a deep breath this morning, just to kind of get my grounding before everything. Taking deep breaths really helps me when I'm feeling uncertain or anxious. So, mental mojo. We all got some mental mojo inside of our brains. And we can all redirect thoughts and past traumas and work through anxiety and depression and mental illness and all of these things. Last time I talked about how it all ties in together, and it does. And we'll get further along and further along and further along down kind of each one of these little holes. This morning I just kind of wanted to lay the foundation, because I've been thinking a lot about this, mainly because last week I had some mental struggles, and it reminded me of something that resonated with me a couple years ago that one of the most amazing people that I've ever met told me. Sometimes you just have to go back to the basics. And I really thought about that in the line of working with young children, Montessori philosophy, preparing the environment, and also working with myself and preparing my home to better fit my mental struggles. So before I got divorced, I kind of blamed that person. I realized, being really reflectively, I blamed that person for my unhappiness. And yes, we had an extremely unhealthy relationship, but by no means was his behavior making me unhappy, because after our relationship ended, I struggled making my own self happy, and realized that it just really is not tied into other people. It's not tied into my children as much as, any of our children, as much as, yes, when they smile, we smile, just like Justin Bieber said, when you smile, I smile, for sure. Every time. But that doesn't mean that there's this true happiness inside. So I had this mentally unstable period for a couple days last week. And I ended up, my immune system dropped so bad, and this is gross and humbling, but I got a cold sore, and which is really gross. It's really gross. And also I got conjunctivitis in both eyes. Conjunctivitis, if you don't know, is pink eye. Yeah, that shit is gross, can I tell you? I actually don't know if it's cold sore or mouth ulcer, but it hurts. So anyways, what I'm saying is it all ties together. So when I tried to kind of take this and realize, like, whoa, yes, we had an unhealthy relationship, but I still had bits and pieces where there were weeks where I struggled to get off the couch. It was like fight, flight, or freeze. Fight, flight, or freeze. Sometimes I would choose to fight, very rarely. Sometimes I would choose to flight. But most of the time I chose to freeze. And that really resonates with me. I think that when we focus on past trauma and past experiences and we're living in the past, it is so hard to reshape and look towards a future. And I am guilty of doing that again in my life, I've realized. So now I need to re-prepare my environment to best fit me, because I'm still trying to be like other Instagram moms, and I'm still trying to, you know, it's not like we purposely do it, it's subconscious, but we try to do things that please other people all the time. So mental mojo is this concept about meeting the needs of ourselves and our families, especially if, this is really directed for people with, depression and anxiety and just being able to like re-prepare your environment. If you are getting home and you are so tired, you gotta have something in that fridge that is just like quesadillas, bam, cucumber sticks, bam. Like, there is some times where I will make my children dinner in 10 minutes or less. But it's back to the basics. When this person said this to me, and I promise I will give that person credit someday, because he's a very special person. So he said this thing to me, and I just it clicked. But within that, my OCD of coming home and making these luxurious meals and having the kids help me with all of these things, that motivation was in a way lost. So I realized oh my God, I don't have to do all of this, right? And so I kind of got lazy. And then when I get lazy, I get depressed. So, and then I stopped being active and really trying to focus in on healing in other ways, which is not negative. But normally I'm a physical person. I'm an active person. I exercise. That's what I didn't do in my marriage for so long with my ex-partner. Was I didn't have the freedom, the time, or the energy to be able to go to the gym. Or I did, I just didn't choose me. I chose other people. I chose other people. So I'm choosing myself now, and I'm choosing to stand up and really let's reshape this. How can we interact when we are feeling not ourselves with our children? It's moving slower, speaking a little slower. I know it sounds silly, but it's, if you're feeling really down, maybe it's jumping up and putting on a song that your kids like. My kids, we could listen to, so many different songs I can't even say, but I think right now one of them is the Cloudy Days, The Tones and I, or something like that. That song, we jam out to that song. And it's when you get in that low funk, find something to just get you up off of your feet. But then also, move slower, speak more clearly, ask for things that you need, set those boundaries in established ways with your kids. Saying, hey, be honest with them. Say, hey, my brain is foggy today. My kids definitely know that I talk to them about mental illness because I think it's really important. And if I struggle, then maybe they'll struggle someday. And if I can show them coping mechanisms above and beyond any sort of academic things that I can give them, I'm preparing them the best that I can, at least, So using specific phrases, modeling the behavior that you want to see. So saying, hey, I'm really down. Let's all clean up our dishes together. Let's all do this together. Jade, I said to JJ the other day, I said, JJ, you're just sitting there and you're watching me do all of these things. You know, I know your sister's asleep already, but please, will you help me clean up all the dishes and take them into the kitchen? We don't expect enough of our children because we don't think that they can do a lot, but they're so brilliant and they can do so much. And they're my team, honestly. They're gonna, I mean, they don't have a choice in that, unfortunately, but they're definitely my teammates. So, and when, you know, we talk about self-love and preparing the environment, that doesn't mean like you have to make it super challenging. Maybe it means you don't do laundry for a week, and you know, if you're financially stable enough, maybe hiring somebody to come in for 2 hours and help you do the laundry, or waiting until your husband has the Sunday off, and then just saying, hey, I'm gonna go out for a hike and I'll come back and start some laundry. You can take the kids, you know, or vice versa, you know, whoever is the caregiver that takes care of them. Every family looks different. And that's just more and more what I'm realizing also, is we have to nurture each person in the family the best that we can. So, for example, JJ is about to be 12 in a couple of months in June. So, I mean, like 4 months. I'm like way over thinking it. But he has been expressing his need for space so much. And we live with my dad in a 3-bedroom, and I've kind of been selfish about having my own bedroom to myself, and I don't really know why. I thought it was just like this, oh, parents get their own bedroom, but I moved Brianna into my bedroom, and her bed is in my bedroom. She's gonna come back on Monday and find it there. I think she's gonna be excited. JJ has his own bedroom. And I'm really looking forward to having the experience. Brianna gets in my bed a lot. With our co-parenting situation, she likes to snuggle, and I think it's that anxious attachment to the parent that she's with for the week. So I try to just be understanding to that, but maybe if her bed's in my room, she won't just come into my bed all the time. She'll sleep in her own bed. And, you know, I hope this gives JJ the space that he's been asking for and needing, and the privacy and the respect. Because I can imagine it would be really hard. I didn't have to go back and forth between houses, I guess, really. So I don't know that experience. I haven't lived that experience, really. So our needs as people are emotional and social and spiritual and physical. They're intellectual, cognitive. We have so many different needs. So how can we determine ourselves the best trajectory for ourselves? For me, I have found inspiration in the ways that I've attached myself to the world and with young children. I've realized that all of those ideas that Maria Montessori had for the children in the slums of Italy, it can all come back to reteaching our society, people who are mentally ill, inmates. Like, we could teach people how to take care of themselves. So I don't know, it's a process, and I think it's gonna just take a lot of back and forth, and I would appreciate a lot of comments and feedback. I love constructive criticism. Please don't be a jerk. Will not, I'll just ignore you, so it doesn't even really matter. You can say what you want to say, but I know my truth, and I know that this is a valuable thing for us all to be able to work on. Back to the basics. You know, what are the basics? What do your kids need? What do you need? Water, food, nourishment, home, housing, safety, protection. I don't know. My brain's kind of getting a little tired. That's weird. There are so many things that are foundational that we need, and we can all work on them. So I'm going to work on tying this all back in like a cucumber. A cucumber. I'm so silly. You guys want to say hi to the guinea pigs real quick? Just so we can be like a little more real here. Ta-da. It's really gross, their guinea pig cage, by the way. I need to clean it today. They're hiding. Kitties! No, they don't want to come out. They say, no can do. Bugaboo Lou. So it all ties together. Nutrition, health, mental health, oral health, or dental health, whatever you want to call it. Each one of our intricate systems works together. Don't let yourself let this happen. Like, there's just no reason for it. And I'm going to work my booty off to make sure that this is the last time this happens to me. And I don't know if I can, but I'm going to work at it. I'm going to try to process and share, so that way we all can work on being better people, just holy. See? Pink eye. Now I'm just like looking how crazy my eyes are looking. I'm gonna have to delete this part out. And that's so gross. What is that?